Time I go live, I cannot figure it out, and I'm always late. All right, we'll wait for people to start coming in. There you are. It's always around this time, 20 seconds in, when I don't see anybody in here, that I start panicking, wondering if I did it right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, we got somebody. I did it right. Good. Who do we have in here? Do I even have the chat popped up? Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, a bunch of people now. Holy crap. Who do we got? Mike Rivera, what's up? Asphalt Assets, yo. Justin Rowland, hey yo, dude. Brett Cunningham, what's up, dude? Oh, Fran's here. What's up, Fran? Jacob, what's up? Justin, Amy, Matt. Jacob, like your videos. Thanks, dude. What's up, everybody? Dang. See, I was just saying that about like 20 seconds in, made you buy a 500? Hell yeah. We're doing good, Amy. Thanks. See, I'm already getting ADD. I was just saying that about like 20 seconds in. Oh, what's up, Gus? About 20 seconds in, if nobody's in here yet, I start questioning if I did it right, because every time I do this, like last time, the first time I went to upload it, or I went to go live, it posted as like an unlisted video, so nobody could see it. And then something else happened and it wasn't working, and I'm a little bit late because I tried to do it on my laptop, but it's a new laptop and I couldn't figure it out because who knows why. ADD engaged, yes. But yeah, it's working, so that's good. Recently got a Shadow Phantom. Your vids help propel the purchase. Hell yeah, dude. How are you liking it? The Shadow Phantom is definitely different than the Rebels, but they're sick. I like the way they look. You'd probably like them. Oh, what's up, Quasi? Damn, the gang's all here. The Shadow Phantom is like blacked out like the Rebel, but it's more of like a traditional cruiser and like looks kind of old school, but still new school, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I probably love that.
Ordered the 500 last week. You're gonna freaking love it. Yeah, I love seeing as like the weather gets nicer, more and more people are starting to watch my videos, because you can tell that people are searching like what the best bike is or whatever as riding season is approaching. But more and more people are like, oh, you helped me pick my bike. You helped me pick my bike. And that's freaking awesome. That's why I do this. What's up, Rebel family? Tips hat Virginia. Oh, it's Ben. What's up, Ben? I didn't even read the name first. Love it. Great look, and doesn't have the flickiness of a Rebel. Wanted a bit more Tad Cruiser. Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that it's more like of a traditional cruiser or whatever, whereas I like a cruiser that's still able to be a hooligan thing. Would you consider a Harley? Why or why not? I would consider a Harley. I don't know if the Harley group would allow me. Oh, wait, Gus said, what are we drinking today? Corona Limonada. If you haven't had this, it is the best stuff ever. It's a seltzer, so it's the same thing as like, you know, the typical seltzers of like 100 calories and healthy and whatever, but it tastes like watermelon lemonade. She has the strawberry one. Super good. Yeah, so I don't know if the Harley guys would accept me. I have never gotten more hate comments on any videos other than the Harley test rides that I did. And I wasn't even like ragging on them at all. I was just like, oh yeah, it's not for me. I can see why people don't like it. And I just got bombarded by like old dudes that are just so set in their Harley ways. They're like, yeah, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. I can't believe you ride a Rebel. You're a girl. So I don't know if they'll accept me, but I would ride a Harley. If I did get one, it would probably be a Lowrider S. I loved the Lowrider S. The new Lowrider ST or whatever, that's pretty sick too. I would ride one of those. The only thing that keeps me from that is that they're like freaking 30 grand or whatever, like 20 something grand. By the time that I get one of those, I could have 3 new Rebels. You know what I mean? And I would also, yeah, the Harleys I've ridden way so much, they are really heavy. I never know how to pronounce your name. Sindri? Please help me with that. He's the one that I have his Corbin seat back there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, not plot twist. What am I trying to say?
Story time.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I have a Corbin 2-up seat in the other room that I'm going to be testing out for Sindre. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm sorry if I'm not. But he lives outside of the US, and so Corbin won't ship it there. So he reached out to me, had it sent to my house. We're going to test it out for a little bit and then get it sent out to him by the time that his weather gets nice enough. So it was like a win-win where we get to test it out and make some content letting you guys know how it is, and he gets the seat because otherwise I don't know how it would end up getting there. Somebody asked something about the meetup. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on about the meetup. So I'll get back to that, but I never finished my thought process because I'm ADD. The other Harley that I would ride, I really want a Pan America. The Pan America is sick. When I test rode the Harleys, I think that one was my favorite, and it blew me away that it was even a Harley in the first place because it was so awesome. Rebel 1100 wheelie video, hopefully soon. The Pan America is sick. Now, I don't know if once I get an adventure bike, if that's what I would get, because I've been thinking about getting an Africa Twin, but then on the other hand, I'm like, do I really want an Africa Twin? Because it has the same motor as what's in my bike now. So it would be cool, but I don't know if it would be too similar.
These are like the off-roading style.
Yeah, the adventure bikes, like the one that I showed you of the guy, he backflipped one and then he was like drifting around with it.
Yeah.
It's sick. I saw lots of questions about the next Life of Birch meetup. I don't know. So at the last meetup I had talked, so the last meetup was in October, for those of you who don't know. And I talked about doing one in May so that we did one every 6 months. And I think I want to keep it to once a year. Hawk 11, no, I haven't seen that. I'm so ADD. So I had talked about doing a meetup twice a year, once every 6 months, which would be the first weekend of May and the first weekend of October. But I think I want to keep it to just once a year because it's a lot of work and stress and planning that goes in to a meetup like that. And I don't know if I want that kind of pressure twice a year. And I also feel like if we do it twice a year, it kind of loses how special it is. It's crazy. Like Quasi came from Texas, Ben came from Tennessee, Fran came from New York. We had people coming from Pennsylvania, Virginia, all over the place. And I feel like if we do it twice a year, it's not as special and not as many people. Like I'd rather have one meetup a year that has 100 people there than do it twice a year and have 30 people at each one because they're like, oh, if I can't make it to this one, I'll make it to the next one. I don't know. Like if they did the Super Bowl twice a year, it wouldn't be as cool, you know? Henny Van Deventer. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Finally catching you live. What's up, dude? So yeah, there's going to be a meetup this year. Randall, greetings from Spain. What's up, dude? I can't talk today. What's going on? Definitely going to be a meetup this year. I just don't know when. I want to stick to once a year, but Maryland has such like legit 4 seasons that it's hard because if I try and do it in May, then there's a big Life of Birch meetup is the Super Bowl of motorcycle meetups. Thanks, dude. That's sick. If I do it in May, we run the risk of it getting rained out. If I do it in summer, it's hot as hell here. And if I do it, need more alcohol. Yeah, I need it. If I do it at the beginning of fall, we run the risk of people showing up and it's 45 degrees or something like that. It just so happened that last year, the first weekend of October was perfect. It was like sunny and 65 or something. Like in the morning I was wearing a hoodie, but then the rest of the time I could be wearing a t-shirt and I was fine. Like it was great.
It got hot. It was nice.
It did end up getting hot. So I'm definitely going to be doing it. I don't think it'll be the first weekend of May just because it's too close to the last meetup. Greetings from the Philippines. What's up? Oh yeah, that's right. Quasi rode through some rain on the way there or on the way back, something like that. So I'm kind of thinking I want to try and do it for like August or September. I feel like that would be a good area to do. I don't know. I'll plan it out. I'll give you guys way more of a heads up this time. But Birch, can I get that black hoodie with reflective? Oh, dude, I texted you about that like months ago and you didn't respond. So you paid me for a hoodie at the meetup, but you paid me so that I could. Oh, what's up, Mike? Oh, two mics, Mike and Mike. Oh yeah, so you paid me at the meetup for a hoodie, but remember I couldn't find the size, so I was gonna send you the thing to iron it on or whatever. Give me your address and I'll send you. If that works, I'll send you the logo to just iron on yourself. But I could do it in whatever vinyl you want. Right now, I only have that like neon orange and white. But yeah, any vinyl I could cut out and do that. Donnie J, hello, I'm in Manassas, Virginia, and love to come to a bike outing. Okay, let's do it. Oh yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. The official Life of Birch meetup will only be once a year, and I'm thinking Nina should also get a Grime. We'll talk. Remind me to talk about that. The official Life of Birch meetup will only be once a year, and I'm thinking end of summer, beginning of fall. But I'm definitely still down to ride other times. You inspired me to start riding, Henny. That's freaking awesome. That's why I do this. Seriously. My lips are so chapped. I feel like it's like showing up. Anyway, they looked wet there. Okay, stop getting distracted. So, the official meetup will be once a year, but I think there will definitely be times throughout the year where last minute I might post on my Instagram or on here. My like day-to-day updates tend to happen on Instagram. I forget that there's the option to post on YouTube aside from videos, just like text stuff. But I want to get more in the habit of like if I'm going on a ride somewhere and I'm not filming, or even if I am filming, just posting that day like, yo, anybody in the Maryland area, I'm going for a 3-hour ride this afternoon. Meet me in downtown Annapolis at such and such time. That way it's like I still get to like ride with you guys and stuff. But if it's not something big like a meetup, my life is very just like by the seat of my pants, if that's the right word. I'm really good at planning, but also planning stresses me out. So I feel like it's much more likely that like once a week, or I mean once a month, something like that, I'd post on like a Friday night, like, hey, weather's looking good tomorrow. If anybody wants to ride, meet me at such and such address at noon tomorrow or something like that. I think that would be cool to kind of still get to ride and hang out with you guys and meet some of the riders in this area. Because I tend to ride by myself a lot, which is kind of by design, but you should start a Discord server. So I do have a Discord server. I just don't understand it. Like one of my Patreon members, Link, set that up for me, and I just don't understand it. I've never been a Discord guy. So mine of myself and a few others. Yeah. Ben, by all means, take the reins and set something up. I know you've been talking about Tennessee, Virginia. Oh, 12-pack of Limonada. Thanks, Gus. Hell yeah. I'm well on my way. Oh, so this is going to be a shameless plug, and you can think that I'm an idiot all you want. I'm not asking for money, okay? I'm just saying I did the math, and the way that this month is going, I'm like, if I keep averaging the same amount, I'm like gonna be $130 shy of this being my first month that I ever break $2,000 on YouTube, which is sick. So now I'm like plotting like, okay, oh, by the way, I got like legit official real merch made, but I only got like a 10 shirt starter order of it. So now I'm like, how quickly can I get the website put up and sell these shirts? Because if I sell all 10 of them, then I should be on course to break $2,000 for the first time. So yeah, anyway, seeing 17 doll hairs pop up. Oh yeah, he ended it in 69. That's very Gus of him. I love that shit. All right, ADD, lock it in. Ben, by all means, take the reins and set something up for a Virginia, Georgia, whatever meetup. I will do everything I can to be there. I really want to be there. The issue, which I think you texted me about it, my work is very seasonal. So I'm technically not allowed to take off between Memorial Day and Labor Day. I'm not allowed to take off. So if it falls between that time, I would just have to essentially just hope I can get my shifts covered. If it's outside of that, I should be able to request off. But I'm also not a manly man like you guys are. I don't want to ride my bike thousands of miles. So if nothing else, honestly, I would assume Nina wants to come if she can get off, though. I don't know if she'd be able to get off. If it was the weekend, we could. But I'd probably just rent a U-Haul trailer and a truck again and trailer the Rebel down and then ride around there while we're there. It would be I would be miserable putting her on the back of the Rebel. She would be miserable putting her on the back of the Rebel and riding down to freaking Tennessee. You definitely punch it. But yeah, so it would be sick to do that. I would just have to find a way to make that happen and as cheap as possible, because even though I just was talking about how excited I am about I need 2 good days of riding out of you. Deal. I'd also need to find a way to do it as cheap as possible, because even though I was just talking about, oh, I'm so excited, it's the first month that I might break YouTube or $2,000 on YouTube, I'm also broke as all hell. So, because you guys remember, over winter I got COVID and all that kind of shit and wasn't working, and now I'm broke.
Bro, back to the Grime.
Hey Birch, taking my MSF course in a few weeks. Your videos are super enjoyable and helpful. Being a bigger guy, I'm looking at getting either Rebel 500, 1100 Shadow. What are your thoughts? Bigger buy, not bigger guy. It depends on what you're looking for out of the bike. The Rebel 500 and 1100 are going to be a lot easier to handle and a lot lighter, and flickable is a word that people like to use. A lot more of a modern cruiser. In like the video that I made, it's almost more of like a naked bike that looks like a cruiser, whereas the Shadow is like an actual cruiser. I personally would never ride a Shadow just because I like the sportiness of the Rebels. Like the only experience I've had with a Shadow, when I had my Rebel 500, I was riding with a guy who had a Shadow Phantom, and I remember we would be going around traffic circles and he would scrape his peg because it was just so much lower to the ground and wider, and I'd be leaning over and not even be close to scraping my foot peg, and I'd hear him back there like, and I'm like, oh, that's a little sketchy, I don't know. So I'm more of like, I'd say the Shadow, if you're looking for like traditional cruiser riding, like you're going on longer highway trips and stuff like that, that would do great. If you're looking for around town twisties, more of a sporty feel, than the Rebel, for sure. You were saying something about the Grom?
Grime. You had the Grime question.
We've been wanting to get a Grom for her for the longest time. I've mentioned it in a few of my videos. We want to get a Honda Element, those like ugly boxy looking SUVs, because you can fit 2 Groms in the back of it. So we want to get her a Grom, throw both of them in. Oh, what's up, Dom? Throw both of the Groms in the back and be able to take, because like I said, I don't want to ride hours and thousands of miles to go somewhere. That's just not the kind of riding that I like. But if we could each have a Grom, fit them both in the little Honda Element, and then drive somewhere and then ride those around exploring, that would be sick. What's up, Marvin? Great videos, Birch. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it as always. But Nina also, I like new looking stuff. She likes classic looking stuff. So ideally, we would find a decent price on a Honda Monkey for her. She loves the Honda Monkeys. Plus, like, they kind of come with the dual sport tires anyway. So once I finally stop procrastinating and get my dual sport tires put on my Grom, we could go freaking anywhere and be unstoppable.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long comment.
Dang, I lost it. Where'd it go? What the hell? Am I this old that I don't know how to find? There we go. Hey Birch, been subscribed to you for about 6 months now. Started watching your videos religiously for about 3. So much so I just picked up a 21 Rebel 1100 last Saturday. That's awesome. Yeah, as Ben said, welcome to the family. That's sick. How are you liking it? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That guy's gonna go away. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the username on that person, but I blocked the dude. What the fuck? There's an option to put user in timeout. Yeah, dude, what in the fuck is going on here? Yep, there we go. What the fuck?
That was crazy.
Imagine having that much time on your hands to just like want to piss people off. All right, so I think I blocked them all. Let me know. Dude. Oh yeah, I remember Quasi doing that. Is there a way to still... All right, whatever. Hey, from Cape St. Clair. Oh, damn, there's somebody from Cape St. Clair. Quasi, is there a way to set subscriber-only mode once you're already started? I ordered the Burley Brand Sissy Bar today because I love the way it looked on the bike. Yeah, it is pretty sick. I'm still unsure about it. It's very functional, but it's also very, like, classic cruiser, the way that she likes. I like the more, like, modern look or whatever.
Sportier look.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was ridiculous. All right, so now that that's over, how about some like Q&A from people who don't have racist names? Hate rate. Does that mean I'm finally famous if people are hate rating my stuff? Your house is actually in some of my videos. That's hilarious. I took a clip from my most recent Grime video where I was riding around a golf course. And somebody commented and they're like, oh, that's Bay Hills. They're like, you literally drove past my car. I feel like TikTok is a lot better at like narrowing in like local stuff, whatever. You're doing big things, bro. You know you're doing big things when a bunch of freaking no bitches having, no life having people just roll up in there trying to ruin something and fail at it. Hey Birch, congrats on your channel growing. Been watching it for a while. You convinced me to get a Honda 500. Hell yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Mike Rivera, do you have a website? If not, something to think about to site. Yeah, so I do have a website. I bought domain names. Side note, somebody had already bought the domain name birchmerch.com. So if that's you, fight me. I did buy a bunch of other domain names though, and I did start setting up a Shopify store for all my merch. I still just have to figure that out because, like I said, I ordered a batch of like 10 sample shirts or whatever from a local person because like what she's wearing, I made, and the shirts that I sold at my meetup, I made, or we made. But that's not sustainable. Like if I'm selling 10 shirts a month, then sure, I could find time to make 10 shirts a month. But I want to be selling 50 shirts a month. And between filming and putting out the content that I want to, there's no way that I'd have time to make that many shirts. And from a money standpoint also, the amount that I got these new shirts for, the time that I'll be putting into the other shirts is just not worth it. So I thought I found a good provider that would be able to give me hundreds of shirts in a batch that I could sell, whatever. I started off with like 14 test shirts or something, and they're really nice quality shirts. The issue is like I up front was very clear about, I'm very particular about my merch. I want it to be stuff that it's super comfortable, people actually want to wear, that it comes in right. I've gotten samples from other people and they've been crooked and blah, 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 and they're like, we got you, don't worry. Well, out of the 14 shirts, 3 or 4 of them came in and the logo's crooked. And I'm like, dude, I know it's only 3 or 4, but that's only out of 14 shirts. If I get an order of 100 shirts, I don't have to worry about 25 of them being crooked. So it's just a headache trying to figure all that out and then figuring out how to set up my merch storefront online when I don't even have the merch side of it figured out. Like, it would be a lot easier. It would be less risk to make it ourselves, because when somebody places an order, okay, I'll make the shirt tonight, I'll send it out tomorrow. I don't have to have inventory and worry about what sizes to order and all that kind of stuff. But it's just one more thing to worry about, and I want everything to be as automated as possible. I say this in every live video. All I give a fuck about is making cool videos for you guys. That's all I care about. I just want to ride my motorcycle, have fun, and make cool content for you guys as I do that. I don't want to have to worry about making shirts and doing all this stuff. Bunker branding, I'll have to check that out.
I think I got a comment.
I think I got a comment.
It
has Nina still been practicing riding, or has she not because of the bolts you stole?
Don't worry, I gave him enough shit for stealing my bolts.
Do you want to talk about you practicing?
Well, we went out one other time.
Mm-hmm.
We took the Grime out, and I think I did pretty good. It was fun. I haven't taken the Rebel out since the first video, just because of weather, and it's still kind of scary and very new. But getting back on the Grime was a lot of fun. I completed my first turn.
Hell yeah. So essentially, we bought the Rebel right at the beginning of winter. We bought it in November. Winter was brutal. So we got her out on it the one time when we made the video about her learning how to ride. After that, it was impossible to get out. She works a 9 to 5, and all winter it's dark by the time she gets off. So the only days that we can do it are Saturday and Sunday. So now all winter we have to find only a Saturday or Sunday where it's not snowing, there's not salt on the roads, it's not cold, and just all this stuff. And in addition to that, at one point I was riding her bike and I lost the license plate. The license plate flew off on the highway. We couldn't find the license plate. And the inspection place around here only does inspections on Saturdays. So it was this whole thing where it's like, okay, well now the weather's crappy. I can't find a Saturday to go get it inspected. I lost the license plate. I can't get a replacement license plate until it's inspected. So now I have to find a time that I can ride the bike with no license plate to the inspection place. And then, as you saw in my install video, I sheared my bolts off and had to steal her bolts. The bolts are now back on, but it still doesn't have a license plate, and it still hasn't been nice enough on a Saturday to get the bike there yet. So that's what led to, all right, listen, it's been months since you've been on any bike. Let's get you out on the Grime to get you accustomed with it again, get that confidence back before we put you back on the Rebel. And she rode the Grime better than she ever has. She rode it far as hell down this parking lot, turned around without putting her feet down, and then rode all the way back. So she definitely has it. It's just a matter of finding time to get her back out on the Rebel so she can put all of that to use. Yeah, keep practicing when you can. Get used to the clutch friction, and when you can practice U-turns. Yeah, so that's what she was doing on the Grime. So that should translate well to the Rebel. But now it's just a matter of like getting used to the clutch friction zone on the Rebel and the Grime, because those are in different places. She does have adjustable levers now, though, to put on the Rebel, so that'll be easier. That was one of the big helps, I think, with the Grime, is that she could adjust the levers in closer, and with the Rebel, she couldn't. So it was like she has little baby hands and couldn't reach the levers.
Also, I have gloves now, which is like makes a huge difference because it's much easier to. I didn't realize like how sticky kind of the Grime's handles were, and then the gloves made it much easier. But first time I ever used the gloves, I was like, I don't know if I like this. And then after 5 minutes, I was like, no, this is a much better way to do it.
Yeah, because you can actually like slide the lever out as opposed to your fingers like getting stuck to it from your sweat and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so she should be freaking set as soon as the weather gets nice enough. And I think we mentioned this before, but she has a YouTube channel coming also, so keep an eye out for that. So I'll probably post like, I don't know, we'll probably share some of her content on the channel. Like we'll probably make one more like day 2 learning video, like day 2 riding video as a follow-up to the first one, so that you guys can get like an update on it, and then use that as an introduction to, hey, by the way, she has her channel coming. And then she's going to start her channel to document her riding journey. She has the levers that she's going to be doing an install video on. She ordered her first parts herself. The levers were a present from my parents, but she ordered her first part herself, which is...
my crash bars.
Crash bars. She got the T-Rex crash bars that I had on my 500 because you can... Those things are ridiculous. You can literally lay the bike on its side and it gets no damage. So just nice peace of mind. And then she also has a Mustang seat that she's going to put on it for comfort. But she wants to ride with, I think you were saying you want to ride with a stock seat a little bit?
Yeah, I think first just to, like, because then I can't really make a video on it at all about comparison if I don't ride with it first. So, but yeah. And I have my first idea for my first YouTube video too. Yeah. Which is exciting, but.
Oh, the one that we talked about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's already brainstorming ideas for videos. So get stoked for that. I wanted to ask if you believe, based on your experience, if you think the Rebel 1100 might be too big for crowded cities. Eventually, I might go up to 1100 for our city trips. No, I think it's perfect for crowded cities, honestly. In size, it's not that much bigger than the Rebel 500. I forget the exact dimensions, but it honestly is not that much bigger than a 500. Plus, like, when you're going around cities, I always throw mine in rain mode so that it's easier and it's not quite as twitchy and everything like that. Honestly, oh yeah, and I saw somebody else ask a question that I forgot to touch on. They said, if I had to sell all of my bikes and get just one bike as a do-everything bike, what would it be? Honestly, it would probably be the Rebel 1100. I almost said an adventure bike because I feel like those are like the perfect do-everything. They're light enough, they're comfy enough, they can go off-road, they can handle a freaking zombie apocalypse. But honestly, the way that I have my Rebel 1100 set up now, I think is the perfect do-everything bike. It's quick enough that it's far from boring. It handles super well for a cruiser. Now that I have the Burley brand Stiletto shocks on there, it has tons of ground clearance so I can do whatever I friggin' want with it. Handles even better than it did before. The saddlebags can fit enough. Between the saddlebags and the underseat storage, I can fit a bunch of stuff. The helmet hook under the seat, I can literally hook her helmet underneath the seat, ride to pick her up, and like don't have to worry about how am I going to get the helmet there. Like, it has all the creature comforts. It has cruise control, ABS. I don't really want ABS. I want to be a hooligan, but that's fine. I might take the fuse out. Oh, which reminds me, somebody asked about Rebel 1100 wheelies. They're coming. I'm just a little sissy boy, and I'm afraid to break the bike because I spent so much money on it and I love it so much, which is why I got the FZ07 stunt bike so that I can learn how to wheelie on that. Like, I tried baby wheelies on my 300 and my 500 because I got such good deals on it that it was like, if I break it, who cares? It's good content. My 1100, though, is my baby. I plan on keeping it forever, and I don't want to break it, so I want to learn how to wheelie on the FZ07 and then translate that over to the Rebel 1100. Tristan, hey Birch, so my Rebel 250 this weekend. I bought an MT-03 the next day. I was wondering if you've ridden one. Of course, it's snowing all weekend, so I've only been able to look at it. No, I have not ridden an MT-03, but I've heard that they're a lot of fun. So the MT-03 is the 300cc version of my FZ07, essentially. So if it's anything like the FZ07, it's going to be a frickin' blast. It's really comfortable, looks cool, probably handles really well. I'm sure you'll love it. Is it worth it to buy a new 1100 or should I get it secondhand? That depends on what kind of deal you can find and how much patience you have. Actually, it depends on a lot of things because, like, some people know that it's so hard to get an 1100 that then when they sell theirs secondhand, they're charging over MSRP just because they know they're so hard to find. But, like, I don't know, it's weird. Some places people are still having a hard time finding them for sale. My local dealer, though, every time I've been in there, they've had a new one for sale. Like, it was hard to find them, and then now every time I personally go in, they have it. So it depends on how cheap you can find them. Because, like, when I bought mine, it was like $10,700 out the door, if I'm remembering correctly. So if you bought it private party, in order to do that, you'd need to find someone selling it for less than 10 grand, because you're still going to be paying like $700 in tax, tag, title, inspection, everything like that. So it's a matter of finding someone who's already selling an 1100 secondhand and then finding it to where it's less than 10 grand, because otherwise you're better off just buying it new. Plus for me, like, I never buy anything new. I want somebody else to take care of the depreciation, everything like that. However, the Rebel 1100 has only been out for a year. So with how crazy the bike market is, they haven't really depreciated at all. Like, even if you buy them for 10 grand, you're still paying what I paid out the door. You know what I mean? So you're still going to be responsible for the depreciation, and there's something exciting about buying a new bike. This is the first new anything I bought, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's mine. I'm the only one that's ever ridden this bike, and every time I screw something up on it, it's my fault. It's been good catching a live, and I'm going to bed now. It's like 12 a.m. in South Africa. Damn, South Africa. I'm glad you were able to make it to one of the lives. I remember you saying that you've been trying for a little while. Good night, sweet dreams. Mike said, I'm planning on getting the Yamaha. Oh yeah, that's Mike that lives in Cape St. Clair that I rode with a couple weeks ago.
Okay, cool.
I'm planning on getting the Yamaha 700 Trio. I have the 2022 MT-07. I want to get the R7, and I still don't know how to pronounce that. Tenere or Tenere? I don't know. But those things are sick. I wanted one of those also. And it's kind of like the Rebel 1100 platform. They're like, the motor's so good, let's just keep putting it in stuff. Because all those bikes he just listed essentially has the same motor. Because he has the MT-07.
Didn't he just buy the MT-07?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how good it is. He tested it out, and he wants that motor and everything.
Every style of bike with that motor.
Mm-hmm. And then the R7, and then the Tenere, whatever, is the same motor, but in like an adventure style bike.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Tenere, not Tenere.
Great.
I'm behind on the video. Damn customer. Did she get to... Oh, yeah, you haven't... No, she hasn't tried the heated gloves yet, because we were going to test them out if she ever got to try riding again, but we never got to go out. We're like, oh, now you can, like, be comfortable when you go out and learn how to ride, but I'm sure you know she still doesn't have the license plate on it, and because I lost it and wasn't able to get another one, and we never got to get back out, but we'll have to test that out. Because even still, like, right now, we had a few days where it was nice out, and right now, there's a wind chill of like 30 degrees.
Yeah, it's windy.
Like, that's half the reason we did the live. A, because we miss doing this. We want to do this once a month, but we always forget and life gets in the way. But also, this week between work and the crappy weather, I wasn't able to get anything filmed. I guess it makes up for it, though, because last week I got 2 videos put out. That was sick. I'd like to continue doing that, but it's so hard to put out 2 quality videos a week. Like, I feel so accomplished, and then I look around, I'm like, my house is dirty, the sink is full of dishes, I haven't done my laundry, I haven't slept, I'm running on caffeine and alcohol. Tenere, okay. That makes sense. Bought the Rebel 1100 DCT last week after 10-year break from riding, now I'm close to sleeping in the garage. Yeah, it makes sense. Jerwares, what's up? I think this is the first time I've actually talked to you on live, but he's, I'm assuming it's a he. Sorry if you're not. Is one of my Patreon members also. I keep forgetting the camera's there, and then I go to do it, and it's like, E.T. phone home. Anyway, what was he saying? Thinking of trading his 1200 Sportster for a Rebel 1100. I would say go for it. I'm definitely biased, but Sportster 1200s are sick. They're just not for me. They're not quite as sporty as the Rebel 1100. They don't have all the creature comforts like the cruise control, the ABS. I don't think they have the easy underseat storage or the USB under the seat. They're not as refined. They're definitely more like bare bones, like they're shaking you apart when you sit on them, versus the Rebel 1100 feels smooth like a sports bike almost, and they handle better and they're not as heavy. I don't know. Like I said, I might be biased. I just love the Rebel 1100 so freaking much, and I feel like that's the way that I would go for sure. Plus, like, I feel like, not to jinx it, but with Hondas, you can just ride them forever, keep up on general maintenance, and they're good forever. All my friends who've had Sportsters are constantly like, oh, I had to get it towed home today. Oh, it has an oil leak. Oh, whatever. And
it's like the classic salesman pitch where you can say, well, you've never seen a Honda on the side of the road. Like, anytime anybody's pulled over and there's an issue with a bike, it's usually...
yeah.
It's usually a Sportster.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll get hate for that, but it's true.
Sup, Birch? What up? India Hopkins, new subscriber. Love your vids. Got my permit. Saving for a bike now. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for subscribing. Keep saving up for that bike. Riding season is approaching. Going from 500 to 1100 after that test ride, I couldn't get back on the 500. I loved it so much. Yeah, literally. And the cool thing, too, is like the way I describe it is the 1100 is so similar to the 500 that going from a 500 to an 1100, you feel at home on it already, but it's a totally different beast. It's like insane. So much more power. And everyone's always like, oh, well, it caps out at 100. Why would I want to get that if my 500 can do 103 miles per hour? Because your 500 will get up to 100 miles per hour in 3 to 5 business days, and my 1100 will get there in the blink of an eye, and then it just happens to drop off after that. But like the get up and go power is insane compared to the 500. Mike, how big is your license plate in the U.S.? I'm looking to get the Burley brand license plate mount, same as you got, but worried our Norwegian license plate is too big. I have a motorcycle in here. Let me measure it. And then I stand up and it shows the Grom.
Living room.
Easier than Googling it. About 7 inches wide by about 4 inches tall. All right. It's about 7 inches wide and about 4 inches tall. How tall did you say yours is? 8.6 by 5.9. Yeah, I don't know if that would work, honestly. I love my Burley brand. Oh, I'm wearing my Burley brand shirt right now. I love my Burley brand tail tighty, whatever you want to call it. But if you are not in the U.S., Supermoto makes a really nice tail tighty also. Theirs is obviously made for like non-U.S. spec license plates. And with that one, it's set up to use the stock turn signals. So those are just plug and play, and they're like a little bit closer in. Oh, Sean, what's up? Thanks. I appreciate that. We're getting closer and closer. I was saying the last donation that I got, I'm getting closer and closer. If this month finishes off the way that it's been going, I'm about $130 off from this being the first month that I've ever made over $2,000 on YouTube, which would be nuts. So that's why I was talking about the merch earlier, trying to figure out a way to like get it ready. So I appreciate that. Because of you, I'm now $120 away, or I should be if it ends up working out. But yeah, Supermoto tail tighty kit uses the stock turn signals, but brings them in a little bit closer. It's plug and play, and then it also has a separate tail light / brake light with a built-in license plate light. So definitely look into that.
I definitely got a comment. Wait, go back.
I definitely got a comment. Mike Rivera.
Nina, do you think that you will get comfortable with the 300? Will you upgrade to the 500 or 1100 or stay at the 300? I honestly don't know yet because I haven't really had an experience like properly riding my 300. But my guess would be yes. Even just like riding on the back of the 1100 is a lot of fun. You can tell there's a lot of power in the bike. And I don't know, maybe I'll look into some sport bikes myself after all that shit I talked about them. But I think there's definitely some exploring to do. I'm definitely not going to stick just with a 300 my whole time riding motorcycles. So I think short answer, yes, eventually. I'll upgrade.
Also, I think we kind of talked about the fact that kind of like my 1100, if and when she upgrades, if we can make it possible, she's not going to ever sell the 300 because it's her first bike.
Yeah.
Like I kind of regret selling my first bike, but I also kind of don't because it opened the door to me being able to buy, like, I sold my first bike so my first bike was the VFR 750. I sold that to get the VFR 800 and sold the one and bought the other one for the exact same price. Sold that, took that money, and actually the VFR 800 is what I use that money towards the 1100. So only because I essentially traded up from my first bike to make the 1100 possible is it okay. Otherwise, I would have loved to keep my first bike. So I think it'll be cool to have her keep her first bike. One of the things that we talked about also is like lots of people buy their first bike based off of the looks of it and what style bike they think they like, but it could turn out that that's not the style bike at all. Like she could ride the Rebel 300 and love it, but then one day gets on a naked bike like my FZ07 and goes, holy shit, this is what I've been missing out on. Kind of the same way that like, I don't even really like cruisers. I just love the Rebel 1100 because it doesn't feel like a cruiser. And I've always thought that adventure bikes looked kind of doofy. And then I rode an adventure bike and was like, holy shit, this is what I've been missing out on. So as a first-time rider, I feel like the point that I'm making is as a first-time rider, it's really important to try different styles of bikes because you might not know what you actually like.
I did see a comment a little bit ago about someone asking if a 500 would be a good first bike for a high schooler. What do you think?
Yeah. Depends. Yeah. It just, I don't know. It depends. I think the 300 and the 500 are like the perfect first bike because like the 500 especially has enough power to get up and go and get out of the way and have fun and whatever, but it's not, how do I say it? When I was in high school, I was a dumbass. And if I had the 1100, I would have been flying around all over the place because even though I thought I had self-control, I didn't. I just wanted to go fast. You know what I mean? The 500 I think would be great because even if you don't have self-control, it kind of forces you to because it's not crazy fast. You know what I mean?
That's one of the reasons that 300 is a perfect starter bike, I feel like, because you can't. Mm-hmm. You can't mess around enough to, hurt yourself or do something stupid or be encouraged by friends and do something dumb,
Yep. Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think the entire Honda 300 and 500 platform, whether you want the CBR 500, the sport bike, or the CB500F naked bike, or the CB500X adventure bike, or the Rebel 500 cruiser, I think the entire 300 and 500 platform that they do with all the different bikes that have the same motor is a great platform to start off on because they're so well priced and the motors are just so good and they just feel very confidence inspiring for a new rider. If I could go back, even though I loved having my 750 as a first time rider because I like to go fast, it also wasn't very confidence inspiring because it was so heavy that I was always worried about dropping it and messing it up. And the 300 and 500, all of them are just so light and like easy to handle that it's just, I don't know.
Confidence inspiring is a good way to put it too. That's why I always hop on the Grime before we even think about taking the 300 out again, is because that's so small and easy.
Yep. If you're not confident in it and you're scared of it, it's like a dog. It can tell when you're afraid. You know what I mean? Like if you hop on the bike and you have confidence and you know how to do it, you're going to be fine. But if you get on it thinking, oh, I'm going to crash, I'm going to eat shit, then that's probably what's going to happen. And the Rebels and especially the Grime, it's so easy to get on it and just feel confident. So
you know what else we talked about recently was having experience with dirt bikes,
mm-hmm.
or like being raised in that kind of environment where you have like ATVs or dirt bikes or anything that like allowed you to learn to change gears at an early age. You're going to be much more knowledgeable about what you're jumping into versus like I had no experience. I drove a manual car, that was it, but I'd never been on anything. And even that was
years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I'd never been on anything like a Grime, but
yeah, the Grime makes it feel like when you're a kid learning how to ride a dirt bike, like it's hard to mess up on a Grime enough that it's going to matter. Like you've stalled out on the Grime, and it's just like, okay, I'll just start it back up.
Right.
like even if you accidentally revved it up and dumped the clutch, it's barely gonna freaking wheelie. I try to wheelie the little Grom, and I barely can because it has such little power. Josh said, is it easy to get your motorcycle license? Yeah. Depending where you are, especially in the US, some people would argue it's too easy to get your motorcycle license. I saw a debate about this on the forums the other night because, like, in Europe and stuff like that, you are forced to start. Every time you say the word rebel, I drink. Keep it up. Rebel, rebel, rebel. Anyway, in other countries, you're forced to start off on like a 125cc bike like the Grom. Then you take another test and you can upgrade to 500cc and below. Then you wait a year and you can take another test and you upgrade. The US, even if you don't take an MSF course, which I highly recommend, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation course, even if you don't take that in the US, at least in Maryland, you can go in to the MVA, DMV, whatever it is where you are, take a written test and get your permit. Wait like a week, go back in and just take the riding test, which is like weaving in and out of cones, coming to a stop, taking a right turn, speeding up and stopping. And they're like, here's your license, good luck. That's crazy. I personally took the MSF course through Harley, which is what she's going to end up doing and what I recommend to everybody. The MSF course is great because even if you think you know what you're doing, they teach you exactly what to do. You have one full day of classroom where you sit in the classroom and you learn the basics. Later, Ben. It's good chatting with you. I need to. I'm in the US. Really interested in Rebel because of this channel. Hell yeah, dude. Stoked that my channel could help get you excited for the Rebel. But yeah, take an MSF course. First day is all classroom. They teach you the basics. They teach you, like, on paper how to ride, how to be safe, all that kind of stuff. And then the next 2 days are all actually riding. You get out on a bike that does not belong to you, that you don't have to worry about messing it up. It has crash bars all around it to the point that you could throw that thing on the ground and nothing's going to happen. And they take you from the basics. Like, lots of what I learned there, I tried to translate into teaching her in that video that I made of her first day trying to ride, where they start you off. All right, we're going to start the bike up. Now we're going to rock it back and forth to see how it feels. Then we'll let the clutch out a little so you feel the friction zone. And then slowly work you up, teach you little by little. And by the end of it, you're taking everything you learn and doing a course where you're like weaving in and out of cones. Then you're going and you're making a U-turn, then doing a figure eight, then speeding up and coming to a stop. You learn a lot. You're not afraid to mess the bike up because it's somebody else's bike. And by the end of it, they give you a certificate to take to the MVA or the DMV, and that certificate gets you your motorcycle license. You don't have to retake the test. And once you have the MSF course under your belt, you can take that certificate to your insurance people, and your rates are typically lower because they see, okay, this person is actually trained to ride a motorcycle. They're going to be safe. They're not going to wreck this bike, or at least they're less likely to, versus the person who just hopped on a bike with no knowledge and got on a 1000cc sport bike and crashed it. So that's definitely what I would do. Chairwares, Night All, thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you do. You support me on Patreon. You're the best. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would take the MSF course, and 3 days later, you know way more than you ever thought you would, and you got to actually practice it on a bike. Yeah, everyone else is saying to do the same thing. Oh yeah, Clayton said, learned how to work a clutch on an old-ass dirt bike, 1980 model in 2005. That was kickstart only. Hated stalling because it was a pain to kickstart it. Yeah, imagine if every time you stalled, you had to kickstart it. And
You would learn real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, I don't even like riding carbureted bikes anymore. Like, before we found the crazy deal on her Rebel 300, we were talking about getting her a Rebel 250, and I'm like, I just hate carburetors. Like, we've even tried finding a Honda Navi to buy, and I'm like, I don't want to work on a carburetor. Like, I just don't. Everybody says they're easy, but I just don't want to. I just really don't want to. Jordan Thomas. Oh, what are some good roads to ride in Maryland? You know, that's a good question. And maybe, like, I saw a Doodle on a motorcycle. She does her, like, thing that she gives for free, like a little, like, guide of, like, hers was like what she packs on long trips. I could make like a Maryland Rider's Guide. That would be sick.
That'd be super cool.
That would be super sick.
People would love that.
Roads in Maryland to ride. I don't know anything really other than the Annapolis area. The things that come to my mind though, in the Annapolis area, any of the back roads through Davidsonville and Edgewater are great. If you end up on Route 424, I think it is, anything that sprouts off of that, all those back roads are sick. Like in my meetup video, you'll see it, and in my most recent Rebel 1100 video, something about like Rebel 1100 tears up the back roads with an unlikely group. You'll see all the back roads there. They're great. Anything through Edgewater and Davidsonville, it's just like a web of back roads that intertwine. So those are great. If you're out anywhere near Frederick, David, hello, what's up, dude? If you're out anywhere in Western Maryland near Frederick, that's where all the mountains are. Those are great. Anything near Gambrel State Park. I've been to Gambrel State Park, and anything around there is sick. Once you get to Gambrel State Park, you can go all the way to the top, and it overlooks Frederick. It's beautiful. That's more of like mountain, twisty roads. If you go down Route 2, down through Southern Maryland, that's cool. I took a ride down to Dares Beach. That was awesome. Lots of like cliffs overlooking the water down there. And then if you go out to the eastern shore, I went out to Chesapeake City, and that was awesome. It's like this old waterfront town. Lots of like farmland that you ride through going there. And I've never taken my bike to Ocean City, but I'm sure that would be a cool ride. Ocean City is touristy and kind of trashy, but I'm sure the ride there would be beautiful. So those are just some quick... I started off saying, I'm not really sure, and then I listed like all this shit. Josh, thanks for the advice. Really helps. I'm looking to get the Rebel 500 soon. Just have to get my house first, but much love. Yeah, worry about getting a house before you get a bike. That's definitely important. Mike said, I found a couple of good riding areas near Rocky Gap, Maryland. Ooh. Wait, where's Rocky Gap? I'm trying to picture that. That's out Western Maryland, I think. Right? Maybe? Yeah, that would be sick, though. I should find new places to ride. Y'all, you guys are watching how my YouTube video ideas come about.
I can see it in the eyes.
See the wheels turning. I should look up the best places to ride or the most scenic areas or whatever, and just go there for the first time, make a video going there and exploring it, and then make a whole separate playlist of different roads to ride and different places to explore in Maryland. And then if and when I end up making the little like guidebook of places to ride in Maryland, I already have a list of the places that I'll include because I've actually experienced it. And if I don't remember off the top of my head what it was like, I have the videos to look back on and relive it. And in that guidebook, if somebody finds the guidebook before they find the videos, I can put the playlist in that so they go and then in turn find the videos in my channel.
Yeah, it's genius.
This is what happens. This is how I come up with video ideas. I can't tell you how many school bus trips and routes I'm out on. Dude, so you mentioned something like that before. Dom, are you a school bus driver? Because that's actually sick as shit. Is that what you do? Dude, that's
so cool.
That is actually sick. Dude, so fun fact, my mom's dream job was being a school bus driver.
No way, really?
And she still has talked about whenever she retires being a school bus driver.
Oh my god, the kids would love her.
Yeah.
That would be so much fun.
Dude, that makes so much sense. Now that you say that, you give off school bus driver vibes, and I mean that in the best way possible, because you're like the nicest dude ever. It just literally, that makes so much sense. Okay. Dude, that's so sick. Do you have to have your CDL to do that?
For sure, right?
I'm sure you do.
Has to be.
I could see Dom being like the cool school bus driver that like on Halloween like already has like little bags of candy made up for the kids.
I feel like, and always like the bus drivers that let the music on the bus too, like let the radio play. Mm-hmm. That was always the best. Like coming home from school.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's so sick.
Also, I saw someone, I was going to say Ellicott City for riding, but I've never taken a motorcycle down there, but as a car, like, ride, Ellicott City's pretty freaking cool.
I saw that pop up also, and I forgot about Ellicott City. Ellicott City is awesome. The downtown area is cool to go. I can't do bus rides in silence.
Yes.
Hell yeah. We knew it. Ellicott City is sick. The downtown area is really cool, but it's like not really hustling and bustling because there's been a lot of big floods down there, but it's still really cool. But all the back roads around there are sick. I do have a video about Ellicott City. Come to think of it, if you go on my channel and search for Ellicott City, you'll probably find it. I think it's called like Ellicott City. Rebel 1100 takes on the back roads of Ellicott City or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, check that out. I walked around, it was summer, and I walked around in my helmet sweating to death just so that I could have the footage because I didn't want to walk around like holding my phone towards me or something.
Ellicott City during Halloween is one of the coolest places because it's so historic. They have so much like ghost kind of stuff going on there. So
I could see that. A Motorcyclist Adventure Guide to Maryland. You got it. DK Machine. Hell yeah. I'll give you some royalties if I end up using that name. Oh, wait. Mike said going back to Rocky Gap on April 22nd. That's my birthday. Dang. Maybe I'll see. Actually, no. I'll probably be drinking on my birthday. Who am I kidding? We're probably going to go get tacos and drink margaritas.
yeah, I would guess.
What am I going back on? You have any seats you'd recommend to swap on the Rebel 500? King Cronus 99. Do you have any seats you'd recommend to swap on the Rebel 500? The stock is terrible. Funny you ask. I always end up doing this.
Leaving me with everyone? Oh, who said that? Oh my gosh. Someone said that you should throw a dart at the map of Maryland and just go where it lands.
Oh, that's what I was going to do. So when I did my my Siri trip, when I went to Chesapeake City, when I ended up asking Siri where I should go, the plan was that I was going to throw a dart at the map, but I woke up too late, lollygagged, I knew I needed to film that day and I wanted to do that, but I was like, I don't have a printer. I don't know how I'm going to print out a map. I don't have a dart. I don't know what's going on. What's happening? So I was just like, I'll ask Siri. And that's how that video came to be. And I want to do more of those also, like asking Siri where to go and then going. Mustang seat. Nina got this for her 300. She'll be doing an install video and comparison video on that. But the Mustang seat, you can literally just see. Look at how thick it is compared to the stock seat. And it's super squishy, but it's still like firm. And if you're a shorter rider, it helps. You can see this back part is so thick, it'll sit you a little bit further up. Probably sits you up a little bit higher too, but I feel like, I don't know, there's the thin part, so if you're shorter, you can kind of scoot up, and yeah, it looks like a freaking couch. Underside is super quality. It's not even stapled. It's like riveted. Really, really nice. So whenever she ends up making her video, Mustang seats, what you've been looking at, dude, yeah, that's honestly the way to go. I got one of like the no-name brand Thailand seats, like Thailand-made seats off of zeedparts.com for my 500, and it looked cool, but it was not comfortable. Do all seats fit all Rebel models? Yes, but not the 1100. Rebel 300 and 500, the seats are backwards compatible for all of them. The 1100, it is not. Where'd you find it? It says sold out on the Mustang site and a few others. Oh, it might be sold out now. I actually lucked out and found that for her on Facebook Marketplace for like, wait, was it Marketplace? Or it might have been on one of the forums on Facebook.
I think it was a forum.
But either way, we got it for like $200, I think. And it's normally like $350. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
That's your birthday present.
Perfect.
But yeah, we obviously haven't put it on her bike yet to test it out. She mentioned earlier that she wants to get more seat time in with the stock seat, so she actually has a comparison for it. But I sat on it on a Mustang seat on my neighbor's bike. Actually, the dude that I bought the Grime from.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Him and his son both had Rebel 500s.
Oh.
and they both had Mustang seats.
Okay,
So
cool.
I tried them out when I went to buy the Grom. EI said, any more meetups planned? So I talked about that earlier. The short version is, yes, there's definitely meetups planned. As for an official Life of Birch meetup, I'm going to stick to just doing that once a year, and I'll probably stick to doing it towards the end of summer, beginning of fall. So the official Life of Birch meetup will be a few months from now, just because it's too much work to plan out more than once a year. But I do plan on doing some like last minute meetups and stuff. I forget, are you local? Oh yeah, he's one of my Patreon members also, so shout out to him. If you guys aren't Patreon members, you got to be cool like EI. I'm assuming that's him anyway, because like who else has that name? So shout out to you. I forget where you're located or if I ever knew, but if you're local, I do plan on doing. Yeah, that is him. Sick, you the man. I do plan on doing like some last minute stuff where like instead of having to plan out a whole meetup, just if it's like Thursday or Friday and I see it's gonna be nice out on Saturday or Sunday, I'll just post on Instagram and be like, hey, if you guys want to ride with me Saturday at noon, meet me downtown or something like that. Driver 8, gotta get back to work. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good shift. I don't know what you do for work, but I hope you have fun. Get a Riker or Spider and meet Quasi in Texas soon. I don't know if I want that. The Rikers and Spiders are those little like three-wheeled things. Yeah. So I don't. It's not really my style. Have you seen the video though? There's a video of somebody taking one of those to a skate park and trying to ride it around the bowl, and then tries to like ramp it out and like crashes and eats shit entirely.
Oh my gosh.
What do you use to hold your phone on your motorcycle? I use a RAM mount. I've been thinking about changing it up though, because on my Rebel I have one of the small RAM mounts, and on the Grom I have one of the big ones. I just upgraded to the new iPhone 13 Pro or whatever, and it doesn't work with the small RAM mount on my Rebel. The arms of it are set up to, no matter where I hit it or no matter where I put it, it's like hitting the buttons on the phone and like trying to do an emergency call and shit. It's weird. The big one I haven't tested out yet, so that might be what I want. But yeah, RAM mount. That's what I've always used, and I'm hoping that with this new phone, the big RAM mount will end up working.
I'd be happy to take the small one off your hands.
Well, you said you wanted a new phone anyway.
Well, for now.
Deal. You can take the small one off my hands.
Thank you.
I saw something. Dude, my finger, I gotta stop using my left finger to like check because it's so creepy. Jordan said, I'll be cool like EI one day. I love your videos, man. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Colby said, are the Pro Taper bars worth it for the Grom? I actually don't have Pro Taper bars on the Grom. I have the stock bars on there. I want to get Pro Taper bars because I've heard that they're worth it. And I have Pro Taper bars on my FZ07, and I like those. The Pro Taper bars are definitely a lot wider than I was expecting, though. So I feel like it would probably make it easier to control with wider bars. And I'm only saying that from a perspective of I didn't grow up riding BMX. I started riding BMX in like high school and stuff like that. And the wider and taller the bars were, the easier it was to control it and throw it around to a certain extent. So I've even thought about trying to find some Pro Taper bars to put on the Rebel 1100 with some risers. So, we'll see if that ends up working out. What else? The big RAM mount works with the 13 Pro. Sick. Thank you, Jordan. That is good to know. I'm going to be switching, or I guess I won't switch it over. I'll keep the big one on the Grom and then buy a big one for the Rebel 1100. Quad lock with the wireless charger. I've thought about that, but quad lock, I've heard horror stories of it messing up the camera, and I'm still worried about that, even though they added like the damper feature or whatever.
Yeah, with the vibrations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mike said, A-Topper and I were talking about hitting the tail of the dragon sometime in the future. I'm buying a trailer to drive down there and hit all that. Dude, okay, yes. So That would be sick. We should make that happen the same weekend. So Ben, oh man, Ben just got out of the chat though. Ben is one of my subscribers and friends that came up for the Life of Birch meetup, and he lives in Tennessee and was talking about having a meetup in Tennessee in like May or something like that. So that would be sick if we could make that happen at the same time. We all go down there for that meetup and then ride Tail of the Dragon. That would be sick. Let's brainstorm that. Let's make that happen. Jiggy said, hey brother, appreciate all the videos. Helped convince me to get my own 1100 and I've loved it. Only rode it for a day and already put 50 miles on it. Keep up the good work, man. Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear. I love hearing that I like helped convince people to get the 1100 because like, I don't know. I'd like to think I keep it real in my videos. Everything I say is the truth about it, even if it's negative. So like, I don't know. It's sick hearing that like you guys trust what I say enough to go spend $11,000. You know what I mean? That's sick. I'm glad that you like it.
I think the fact that you do like sometimes comment on things that are negative or things you just don't see as pros that someone else might, is probably what people love the most about that, because
imagine being one of those YouTubers that like only says good things about it and then somebody buys it and they're like, this guy lied. This bike sucks. Like, how do you live with yourself? Ooh. Dom said, would you ever hoon a oh yeah, so that's right. So I'm getting distracted again. Mike, I forgot that you met Ben at the meetup. So yeah, Ben, he was talking about doing something in Tennessee, so that's even better. You know him. Dom said, would you ever hoon a Supermoto? Yes. I am way too broke for another motorcycle. I would argue I'm probably more broke for even the motorcycles that I have right now. But I actively, at least once a week, search for Supermotos on Facebook Marketplace.
once a week. Or like once a day.
Okay, watch your mouth. But then I do stuff like in my most recent Grime video where I'm riding around a golf course and I'm like, oh yeah, I have Supermoto like dual sport tires that I can put on my Grime. Like, obviously not as capable as a full-blown super. So here, I guess, here's the thing is if I got a Supermoto, I would put street tires on it and like do wheelies and stuff like that. Whereas it almost defeats the purpose of it being a Supermoto because I would put street tires on it. On the other hand, my Grime, I want to put dual sport tires on it to defeat the purpose of it being a Grime and be able to take it off-road. But yeah, I want a Supermoto. The issue is, like I was talking about earlier, I hate carburetors. I don't want to deal with them, so I have to find a rare Supermoto that's fuel injected. Thanks for answering that cruise control question / fix on the forum for me. Hell yes. Okay, good. That's the guy that asked the question earlier about the cruise control thing.
Okay, cool.
You're welcome. I spent so long trying to be like, did I say that the right way? Does that make sense? Like, whatever. Going to meet girlfriend. Bye. Yes. Girlfriend is definitely more important than this. Go have fun. But yeah, lots of people have been asking about the cruise control thing, and I just didn't have. I was on the right track as to what the problem was because Fran had helped me sent me a link about what the issue was, and like I knew enough about what the issue was, but I don't know enough about electrical to know what the solution was. So I had already reached out to Burley Brand because I have a good relationship with them and told them the issue, and they were working on it and everything like that. And it's like I knew it was something easy. I'm just not smart enough to know what the issue was. So, but he finally got back to me the other day and told me what the fix was, and he should be making like a big announcement saying that they're sending it out and everything like that. But like I said, I also looked at the diode, and it's like $1 online or something. So if your trip is coming up and you can't wait, you can just buy it and throw it in. Oh man, good question. What's your closest encounter to a crash, or have you ever been in a crash? I've never been in a crash. I've laid a bike down just being an idiot in a parking lot, but I've never actually been in a crash. Closest I've come to a crash, it's kind of hard to answer because any sketchy situations like that, I try to keep out of my head, because if you have to have fear to a certain extent, but if you ride with the fear of a crash in your head, then you're not going to enjoy it as much. I feel like you have to be worried enough to be alert, but not like thinking about all the close calls all the time. I'd say the closest I've come to a crash, I specifically remember a time that somebody pulled out in front of me on West Street in Annapolis when I was on my Rebel 300. They just straight didn't see me, and I had to hit the brakes and swerve around them. And I specifically remember the back tire locking up and my brain going, it's a good thing that I've been riding long enough that I know what to do, because if not, I'd be screwed. And now I understand why people want ABS, if that makes sense. But I just like got off the brake and swerved around him and flicked him off, because that's what you do. I'd say that's the closest call that I remember. Other than that, I try to ride alert and defensive enough that I see situations happening and react to not let them happen, if that makes sense. I'd rather crash and have it be my fault than somebody else's fault, which is why you always see me riding back roads that don't have people around me and they don't have lots of intersections and stuff like that. Do you prefer riding highways, straight paths, places with lots of curves, neighborhood riding? Yeah, so that's exactly what I was talking about. So that ties in perfect. I prefer fun, curvy back roads. Do a trick with your hat, Toppy. Hold on, let's see. Oh shit, I can't do it looking in the camera. Yeah, so I prefer back road riding because it takes out the element of other humans a lot. Like, if you're riding around town and you're riding highways, there's people everywhere, and people, I'm sure you can tell just driving in your car, people are stupid enough that they're not paying attention and they don't care about you at all, and they're texting and whatever. Back roads, you interact with a lot less people, there's a lot less intersections, everything like that. I prefer to ride wherever I can have the most fun and be the safest. That's why people talk about like long highway trips, and I'm like, that sounds terrible. I can't think of anything worse. You mean to tell me that I'm just cruising at the same speed in a straight line, surrounded by people who want to kill me for 3 hours? Pass. Hard pass. When my other option is for those 3 hours, I could be taking turns and staying like interested in the ride and not being around people and then end up at a taco truck. I'd rather do that as opposed to like, how many times has somebody cut you off on the highway in your car? Now imagine you're in a motorcycle where they don't even know that you exist. So yeah, I feel like I've had a lot of close calls. Not a lot, but enough. I mean, everybody has close calls on bikes. But I do everything I can. I ride assuming that people can't see me because they probably can't. So I just ride very defensively and try to pay attention to what people are doing around me. And I feel like I can also read situations very well, which you need to be able to do as a motorcycle rider, to be able to tell, okay, this person is on their brakes, they don't have a turn signal on, but they're probably going to come over in front of me. I should slow down and make sure. Like lots of the videos that you see on YouTube of like, this person cut me off and I crashed and whatever. It's like, well, if you weren't riding like an asshole and you were paying attention, then it probably wouldn't have happened. Was it their fault? Probably. Could you have avoided it? Yes.
I saw something cool the other day that was like, it was one of those Facebook posts, but it was like, if you have kids and you're going on long road trips, rather than having them like point out semi trucks or like red cars, have them point out every motorcycle that they see. That way, as they're growing up, it's like it'll be ingrained in your brain to always be looking for motorcycles.
Yep.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Eric just said, new to riding with a Rebel 300 and new to Maryland. Can you suggest any good trails or areas to ride around? We talked about that a little bit earlier, and I do plan on actually making some sort of either playlist of videos showing cool rides and or like a guidebook of places to ride. Depending where you are in Maryland, in the Annapolis area, Edgewater and Davidsonville back roads are awesome. What's the word I'm looking for? Ellicott City, all those back roads are awesome. Anything out in Frederick in Western Maryland has like mountain scenic roads. You could take Route 2 down through Southern Maryland. That's beautiful. Find a beach to stop off at or something like that. On the Eastern Shore, if you go to like St. Michael's or Easton or Ocean City, something like that, those would be sick rides. What does somebody say? All crashes 100% my fault. Had several near misses. Yep, pretty much. I feel like it's easy to say, harder to put in practice, but every crash I feel like is 100% avoidable. It just depends on how safe and alert you're riding. I mean, freak stuff happens, like maybe you're going through an intersection and somebody blows a red light and T-bones you. I understand that. It's just, I don't know. That's why I don't ride. I'd rather ride safe than crazy. And I don't know. Like lots of people are like, I don't know. I don't want to get into a side tangent about people who talk shit on my videos about me wearing gear, but that's why I'm like, dude, I ride safe enough that if I get in an accident, it's going to be my fault, so I'm ready to accept the consequences. You know what I mean? Oh, you're in Columbia? Ellicott City. Ellicott City is not far from you, right? Yeah, that feels right. Yeah, Ellicott City. Go check out Ellicott City. They have a lot of back roads through there. I definitely assume they can't because people half the time don't see a big yellow bus. True that. I specifically remember in high school somebody crashing their car into a school bus and everybody made fun of them for so long because they're like, how do you not see a school bus?
The school bus hit my Honda Civic.
Wear gear head to toe, save my ass all 3 times. Yeah, I should, but I just don't feel comfortable in gear lots of the time, honestly. I know it's a terrible excuse. And I do plan on getting more gear this riding season. I'm saying that I don't wear gear as I've been talking about how I'm about to spend like $600 on actual riding gear. The issue is that I hate feeling like I have to like get ready to ride. Like if I drive a car, I literally just stay in the same clothes. I get in the car, I put on my seatbelt and I go. I don't want riding a motorcycle to feel like a big to-do, like I have to get ready for it. I want to find riding pants that look like regular jeans, riding shoes that look like regular shoes, and a riding jacket that looks like a regular jacket. That way I can spend my entire day in it and just do whatever I need to do, and it doesn't look like I'm in a freaking spacesuit every time I go in somewhere.
Yeah,
you know?
said my goal was to be able to find riding gear that allowed me to get off my bike and go into the office and not look any different and be comfortable all day, but still with the right protection in it.
Yep. Yeah, so I do plan on wearing more gear, but I don't know. It's a terrible argument, but at the same time, lots of jackets are big and stiff and stuffy, and I feel safer being loose and comfortable on my bike and being able to whip around a crash that's about to happen versus being in a freaking spacesuit and it's hard to like move, you know? How do I like the Engine Hawk jacket? The Engine Hawk jacket is sick. I really like it. After it broke in, at first it was very stiff, but after riding in it on some hot days, I got rained on once or twice also. Brie. Wee! The fuck? But yeah, the Engine Hawk jacket is sick. At first it was very stiff and I almost returned it, and then once it got broken in a little bit, it's a lot better, but it's too hot to wear during the summer for me. Sometimes you need luck. I was daydreaming and blew through a red light. Thank God I didn't meet another vehicle in that intersection. Oh shit, yeah, you gotta pay attention. That's sketchy. Somebody was watching after you though, if nobody else was in the intersection. Toppy said, how is Nina's progression going? It's going well. We talked about that a little bit earlier also. Essentially, we still haven't been able to get back out on the Rebel. We still need to get it inspected, but she went out on the Grime a couple weeks ago and killed it. So now she needs to get out on that soon also. My Icon Mesh AF jacket is amazing. $180, breathes like no other, and comes with armor everywhere other than the chest. Highly recommend. I was looking at actually an Icon Mesh jacket that just looks like a windbreaker kind of. I need to get one of those because I need something that I can wear. Love you guys. Drunken Mimosas. Go ride a bike for the kids. We're getting there with you. Bye-bye. That is hilarious. What a nice lady. But yeah, so we had her out on the Grime so she could like get used to riding again, and then once it gets nice out, she'll be back on the 300. +1 here for the Icon. That's what I wear. Yeah, I need to. Icon is who makes your helmet that you have right now.
Oh,
so
okay.
they're definitely a good brand. DOT3. Oh, Toppy and Mike are having their own conversation. I'm like, when did I talk about that? And I'm like, oh, that's right. Toppy said he's waiting on a dang caliper. Wait, caliper for what, Toppy? For your bike or for the... I'm assuming not for the bus? Oh, man. All right. Chat went dry. Somebody ask a question. Come on. Is that what people say when they go live? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
All right, what do we have to talk about while we wait for people to ask questions?
I don't know.
I was going to say, you went silent also. Play any video games? No. I don't. Fun story about that. I used to play video games. I used to play like Call of Duty and stuff like that. And I sold, back when I had like this Civic that I was modifying. Oh, for the Matrix? That makes sense. Back when I had the Civic that I modified, I sold all of my gaming consoles, all of my games, everything for it to buy an exhaust for my car, and then I was like, damn, going fast in a car is cooler than playing video games, and I'm broke because I'm spending all my money on this car, and
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. Yeah, it was great. When are you moving down south? Tennessee is awesome. We've actually talked about moving south. I don't know about Tennessee. We actually haven't put any thought into Tennessee, though. Maybe once we go to the meet and we see how nice Tennessee is. Whoa.
Bless you.
Thank you. That might change our minds. But we've looked at North Carolina, like Georgia, maybe.
I know, but at the same time, both of us have family in Kentucky. We're so close to Kentucky.
If I moved to Kentucky, I would hate my life. I am not a Kentucky boy. How much of an upgrade was the Stiletto shocks compared to stock? I know they're good, but are they worth the upgrade cost? Dude, the Stiletto shocks are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. It's just so much better in every way. They handle better, they look better, they ride better, and like, I'm not a suspension tuning guru by any means. So it's cool that the stock shocks had like 20 levels of adjustment, but that is way too much fine tuning for me. I just can't, my brain, I'm not going to change it 2 clicks and then go for a ride and, oh, that's not good, so I'll change it 3 more clicks. Oh, but that's too much. So then I change it back down 1 click. The Stilettos have 5 levels of adjustment. I rode it. I could tell that it was a little bit too soft. I moved it up 1 click and it's perfect. I take her out, it's perfect. Like, I could probably move it up 1 click when I take her out, but it's like the level 2 works well enough for just me and for both of us that it's like it's almost not even worth changing it. It's just so, they're great. I love them. It's honestly like my favorite thing that I've done. Like, it's more comfortable for both of us. It doesn't bottom out when we go over bumps with both of us on it like it did before.
Yeah. No, there's that one street downtown Annapolis that we always take, and usually I probably have to like at least have my hands ready because just to hold on to you or whatever it is, and taking it with the Stiletto shocks, it's like I'm not getting bucked or bumped or I'm not sliding really even anymore. So
yeah, they are great. Plus, they're only like $345. The stock shocks, if something happens to your stock shocks and you need to replace them, I think it's more than that for like 1 stock shock. It's ridiculous. When are you giving Nina a rock? We don't need to talk about that. Marriage is a scam. Robert Price, are you saying do I like the Stiletto shocks better than the exhaust? That's a tricky question because they affect different things. I would say, I don't know. Hello from Saudi Arabia. Thanks for all your videos that made me go ahead with the 1100. That's sick. Watching from Saudi Arabia, that's awesome.
you have a lot of people like internationally that watch your stuff, and most of them are like, "You encouraged me to get 1100." That's really
crazy.
cool.
Thank you for watching my videos. That's crazy that they even helped you all the way in Saudi Arabia. That's wild. The Stiletto shocks versus the Two Brothers exhaust is, I don't know. It's a really good question. I feel like functionality wise, the Stiletto shocks are the best thing I've done for the bike. Because they changed the handling, like the comfort of the handling, the performance of the handling, and made it way easier and more comfortable to take her on the bike. The exhaust I love because it sounds crazy, and I just love the way it sounds and having a loud bike, and it gave a little bit of a performance boost. But Hussein Ali, you're the best. No, you're the best. But I'd probably say dollar for dollar, because that's the other tricky part. The shocks were cheaper than the exhaust. Dollar for dollar, I'd say the shocks are better. But with that said, that could change once I find a way to actually get the bike tuned, because I'm sure that will make the exhaust a lot better. Because putting the exhaust on really is just a sound and looks change. It adds a little bit of performance change, but not until you wake it up with like an actual tuner. So that might change it. So it's hard to do a comparison, but I'd say dollar for dollar, the shocks were a better upgrade than the exhaust. Yeah, probably. What else did I miss? Somebody else asked about the next group meetup. Somebody else said, all right, where do I start? Still drink when you say rebel.
Rebel.
Well, you're getting drunk. They said, sold my gaming PC for an exhaust on my Tiburon. Yep.
I had no idea that you had done that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sindre said, well, since you like the Engine Hawk jacket, how about the Rock helmet? I don't like the Rock helmets, honestly. I don't like the way that they look. I feel like they're more of like a fashion statement than like a safety piece, if that makes sense. I like my Bell helmet because it looks like a race helmet. Rock helmets just kind of look like Star Wars helmets to me. Robert said, why don't you come to Florida and ride year-round? We've talked about Florida also. I just feel like I would be the stereotypical Florida man, you know? Florida man blows up a tree and it falls on an alligator. Like that would be me. I don't know if I'd trust myself in Florida.
The Florida man wrestles alligator 2 hours after arriving in Florida.
Literally. Peter K said next group meetup. We touched on that a little bit earlier. So the short version is the next official Life of Birch meetup will be at the end of summer, beginning of fall. I talked about doing 2 a year, but I'm only going to do 1 a year. But I will be posting last minute like, hey, it's Friday. Tomorrow on Saturday is going to be really nice weather. Meet me downtown Annapolis if you want to go for a ride at noon, something like that. So something like less pressure, less official. Somebody else asked about Nina's motorcycle process. We talked about that earlier also. Short version is we haven't been able to get back out on the Rebel because I lost the license plate on the highway. Haven't got it inspected yet because of that, and it's been really cold. So we've had her back out on the Grime to get her confidence back, and then once it warms up, we'll get her Rebel inspected and have her back out on that.
Which will hopefully be soon.
Hopefully soon, very soon. Come to Norway and ride 4 months a year. No, it's okay. We could come visit in the winter and see how lovely the snow is, and then leave immediately and find warm weather. Robert said, when you were with the others, did you like another one better, like Vance and Hines? No. After seeing the other exhausts in person, it solidified my choice of the Two Brothers. It really drove the point home. Two Brothers is the best exhaust you can get for the bike. The only other one that I would get would be the Shorty exhaust that I had on it at the beginning, just because it's so cheap and still sounds insane. Kaufman's is too, like, I guess, quiet and not throaty enough, if that makes sense. Vance and Hines sounds good, but I wish it was louder, and I don't like the look of it as much. Do all the 21 parts fit the 22 Rebel? Yes, they do. Same bike, they just changed the color. So anything for the Rebel 1100 is backwards compatible. Toppy said the last Saturday of July, I don't actually make it. July's going to be too hot. We're shooting like September-ish. July, I'd have people coming out here having heat strokes riding around. Does changing to the Two Brothers mess up the warranty on the bike? Nah, it shouldn't affect anything. And honestly, even if something does happen to your bike, it's 2 bolts, put the stock exhaust back on, and they'd never know. Jason said, you rock, brother. Love your vids. Thanks, dude. You rock for watching them. I appreciate that. Glad that they brought you some entertainment. Well, at least she enjoys it. Once infected by the biker virus equals always a biker. Yep. You're in for life now. Oh, man. All right. Any last questions? I feel like it's been long enough now that we'll probably get out of here. I didn't realize it's been over an hour and a half. Every time we do a live video, we're like, we'll do it for like a half hour or an hour. And then 2 hours later, we're like, how did this happen?
It's so fun though. People ask so many questions. It's fun to like sit here and get to really talk with everyone.
Yeah. That thing sounds so good. Birch ain't lying. Yeah, the Two Brothers, the first time I started it up, I was literally like mind blown. Like, holy crap, this is a totally different bike. You never even heard the bike with the stock exhaust. It sounds like a freaking sewing machine.
But wasn't there stock at the meetup when you did your video?
Oh, yeah. So you did hear it, yeah. I'm going to hang out with you while you make your doors and vids and slam some doors. Oh. All right. Last chance for any last questions before we go. Enjoy your Sunday evening. It's Monday morning for me. Where are you at?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Nina's turn for a hat trick.
I can't.
As I just smack her in the head. Toppy, you're a bad influence. Get out of here. The place I'm talking about is Baltimore Pike, up northwest. I'll have to check that out. One thing I want to say, I just love your glow up. You as a person and also the channel have evolved a lot. Thanks. That means a lot, dude. That's one of the cool things about the channel is like not only seeing the evolution of my bikes, but I feel like I put a lot of my personal life, probably more than I should, on the channel. But it's cool because you guys get to see like me as a person, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm not just like oh, here's what this bike is like. Like I'm just actually myself, if that makes sense. So that means a lot. Thank you. Oh, he's watching from Korea. That is crazy. Damn. Thanks for watching from Korea. That is wild. How do you feel about the Indian Scout Bobber? And I love your videos. Thank you for that. And also, Indian Scout Bobber is one of the bikes that I have been asked to ride the most. And I did go to my local Indian dealer, and they said that they would try to make that happen for me. So once it warms up, hopefully I'll get to ride one and check it out for you guys, because I really want to ride one. You guys have asked about it enough. I need to make it happen. How much longer are you renting your bike storage space? Good question. Come to think of it, it's already been long enough that my last payment on it is this coming month. April 11th, I'll make the last rent payment on it, and then I get to decide if I want to renew it or not. That is still up for debate. It's great, but there's also, I just don't know if it's worth the $400 a month, because it's a little old, and I don't know. I won't get into it too much. There's just some issues with it that I'm wondering if I can get more for my money elsewhere. I just haven't found more for my money elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can. It's just a matter of actually finding it. For now, it serves its purpose, though. How do you feel about the Harley 48? I have not ridden a Harley 48. They're really cool looking, but they're not for me. They're very rumbly, and for the money, you don't get a lot of tech or reliability. They look really cool. I like to ride and not work on bikes, and I'd be concerned about working on it more than riding it. All right, I'm going to say that was the last question because I have now drank enough of these little limonada things that I have to pee really bad. And we're also almost at 100 minutes of the live. So how do you have a dab emoji? When did that happen? Do you see that?
Yeah, what?
Hit him with it. That's crazy. All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. This coming week is going to be a little bit rainy and cold, and I don't know if I'll be able to film a video for next week, but I'm going to try. And if not, maybe we'll go live again and hang out with you guys. So thanks for watching. We're getting out of here. Keep up the greatness, man. Keep it real. I appreciate it. Love you, bro. Keep riding. Love you, too. I appreciate it. Be easy, brother. Thank you. Later, Dom. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Wait, should I do the like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Perfect, as I awkwardly try to find a way to get out of it.